Bowl season is almost here. Welcome in here to the Voice of College Football as we break it down with Steve Helwig from Hustle Belt and Underdog Dynasty. Try to take you through as many bowl games as possible. They first hit on December 17th, and then on the 18th, find your couch, find your favorite spot. 7 bowl games on that Saturday. Steve, how you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, and just hearing about bowl season makes me excited because it's one of the best times of college football of the year, and we have more matchups than ever. Last year, due to the pandemic, we had a lot canceled, but this year we're back with 42. They even added a game, which I'm always good with. More football is always something that I am signed up for, so I'm really excited for these 42 matchups that we're about to get in the month of December and January.
Absolutely. I understand the argument that you should have to earn a bowl game, but at the same time, there almost can't be too many bowl games. I will watch whatever bowl games are on. I try to watch every one, and my response to anybody who says there's too many bowl games is that you basically don't have to watch them. If you don't want to watch a bowl game, don't watch the game. But it all gets started on the 17th with the Bahamas Bowl. So we've got Toledo at 7-5 out of the MAC. We got Middle Tennessee at 6-6. How do you size this one up?
Bahamas Bowl is always one of my favorite bowl games. It's the only one to happen in international waters. We saw Middle Tennessee in this game last in 2015 and Toledo last in 2018. So we're having a few return trips to the Bahamas in this game. Middle Tennessee was a pretty good story this year because it looked like that under head coach Rick Stockstill, who's been there since 2006, it looked like that Middle Tennessee was on the downswing. In the previous seasons, they finished 4-8 and 3-6. That was after his son, Brent Stockstill, who was a longtime quarterback there, left. Brent's now on his staff, and Middle Tennessee did a really good job at rebounding this year to get to 6-6. They were 2-4 midseason, finished the season 4-2, and they even had to deal with the loss of their starting quarterback, Chase Cunningham, and the loss of their earlier starting quarterback, Bailey Hawkman, the NC State transfer. So they lost 2 quarterbacks this year, and they still were able to finish strong through Nick Vattiato, who was the replacement quarterback who finished the season, and Mike DeLillo also checked in for some reps as like a Wildcat quarterback. So they ran a 2 QB system, and it worked pretty well for Middle Tennessee, and they ended the year strong. In their final game, they had to come back down from a 17-3 deficit to beat FAU, and they scored 24 unanswered points in the last half of the third quarter and in the fourth quarter to even clinch bowl eligibility. So it's a good story this year for this Blue Raiders team. So they're going to face a tough Toledo team, which you'd think is better than their record states because Toledo ranks 25th in scoring offense and 28th in scoring defense. There's a lot of times you'll see a MAC team that has a great scoring offense, but don't really have everything together on defense. But this Toledo team played defense pretty well this year. The only times they allowed more than 30 points were against Eastern Michigan and against Notre Dame in that game that the Rockets pretty much should have won. They had the Fighting Irish on upset alert in the final minutes. But this Toledo team did a really good job at getting pressure up front this year, and they were able to get a lot of stops defensively. Jamal Hines, one of their defensive end / outside linebacker edge rushers, did a great job with 14.5 tackles, 9.5 sacks. And Toledo's one of the superior passing defenses in the country. Sam Womack, with all college players since 2005, Sam Womack ranks 14th in pass breakups. And he rarely played in 2017 and 18. And last year was a pandemic season. So he got almost all of those in 2019 and 2021. So he's an incredible under-the-radar cornerback to watch in this game against a Middle Tennessee offense that prefers to pass a bit more than they prefer to run. So it's going to be an interesting matchup between those few. And it's been a while since Toledo's won a bowl game. 2015 was Toledo's last bowl win. Middle Tennessee's last bowl win was 2017. So one of these teams is going to bring hardware back to their campus for the first time in pretty much a senior class.
As you mentioned, the Bahamas, typically a fun one, just started in 2014 and typically a lot of points. And of course, that historic, ridiculous comeback a few years ago down to the wire, then that 49-48 game. Interesting note here that may prolong the game and something that Toledo wants to address during bowl prep. They led the nation in penalties. So the Rockets at 7-5, Middle Tennessee at 6-6.